are going to rise and shout. It's time for What's Trending.
What a grab! Touchdown!
5-5 BYU with a much-needed bye week after 10 straight games.
2 years in a row.
10 straight games, 2 years in a row, which was quickly pointed out by Elisa Tuiaki when I brought that up on Coordinator's Corner.
Yep.
Said he's never dealt with anything like that in all of his football playing and coaching career.
And that's over. BYU's not going to have to do that anymore.
Maybe 10 straight factors into our trending discussion today, as does strength of schedule. But a tweet to set the stage. This from @BrettBryce, listener and follower of the program, said BYU just beat a Boise State team that some commentators were projecting as of last week for a New Year's Six bowl game. Liberty beat Arkansas. Notre Dame destroyed Clemson, who was number 4. East Carolina beat number 25 UCF 2 weeks ago, then won at BYU, of course. Oregon is in the top 10. Time for some apologies from some BYU fans.
Brett looks like Zach Hicken, by the way, our friend.
Zach
He
Hicken
looks
with a
like
beard?
Zach, yeah.
Knowing what we know about the BYU opponents and how the schedule is now shaken out.
Oh, we're talking schedule?
Do you, Jarom, master of scheduling, view the 4-game losing streak specifically, like the bottoming out? Do you view that any differently?
More like master of complaining about the scheduling. I do not. I think that BYU still could have won the Notre Dame game, Spence. I know that's a top 20 team now, according to the College Football Playoff, because Notre Dame. There are other 6-3 teams who have bad losses who aren't in that situation. The luster of the gold flex, I guess. Arkansas was winnable if the offense has a few more conversions, defense shows up. ECU is absolutely a winnable game. BYU should have won that game. So, no, I don't apologize for that. There are only 2 games where I just tip the hat and go, there was no way BYU is winning those games.
BYU got their butts kicked collectively.
Oregon and Liberty.
Yes.
Honestly, Liberty, to me, is underrated and undervalued nationally. I think because they're an independent, kind of a new player on the scene. And they'll probably go away a little bit if Hugh Freeze leaves, right? There's some opportunities there for him. But, yeah, no, I don't apologize for that. Obviously, Notre Dame is better than we think, but they still lost to Marshall and Stanford. Marshall's 5-4. Stanford's 3-6. BYU could have and probably should have won that game. Unfortunately, Jaron's hurt, and unfortunately, BYU, as Aaron Roderick pointed out on Coordinator's Corner with you, doesn't have a 3rd or 4th down back that can get a yard right now. The BYU feels confident in. That's disappointing because Chris Brooks, Lopini, Miles, banged up.
Yeah.
But still, I think even if healthy, it's still a concern. So that's an issue. So it should have beat Notre Dame. Not a bad loss, but should have beat Notre Dame. Again, everyone's screaming at me this is a bad loss. It's not a bad loss. Notre Dame's in the top 20.
Clearly, now people have changed their tune on Notre Dame.
Didn't listen to me.
They're looking more like the team we thought they would originally be. They
are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
This team went into the season ranked number 5. They're starting to look a little bit like that team we thought they would be.
Still should have won that game, I think.
Agreed. The offense was so bad in the first half and still had a shot.
Arkansas could have been a win. Defense has got to show up, not give up 6-44.
Got the ball. You're up 4.
You got to beat ECU.
You're rolling.
So I'm saying during those 4, BYU should have gone 2-2. BYU, I would hope, would be 7-3 right now. No worse than 6-4. 5-5 is like worst case scenario. Obviously, you lose all 4. That's worst case scenario right there.
I think what BrettBryce is getting at specifically is, I can't believe BYU lost to Liberty and East Carolina. Terrible losses. Because they're not these name brand programs. But we're getting way past that stage. Like, I feel like parity in college football is at an all-time high. Parity in college sports is at an all-time high. The difference between, like, if you take away the top 4 college football teams right now, like the top 4 kind of in a class of their own. But I feel like, 5 and 6, you go down to like 45 to 50. Like ECU could challenge a lot of top 10 teams. And Liberty would give a good game to a ton of top-tier teams.
Yeah, and you know who's not in the top 4 for the first time in the college football playoff
Alabama.
era? And Clemson.
And Clemson.
Like neither of them are in there for the first time.
The margin of error is getting much more thin. and slim when you were trying to differentiate between these programs.
Because certain programs can't just pay and buy these players under the table. It's out in the open with NIL now.
Absolutely.
More.
It's a game changer.
Still
The
under the
transfer
table,
portal has been a huge factor in impacting teams like Liberty and East Carolina. You look at their rosters, you're like, oh, man, they got some dudes that went to some big-time programs that then decided, it's not for me. I'm not getting much playing time, or for whatever reason, NIL
I thought they all went to A&M.
No, okay. Well, a lot of them have gone to A&M and then transferred on, right?
App State's like, yeah, they're great.
But the transfer portal, NIL, there are a ton of reasons that have now have increased parity in college football. I think it's good for the game. I love it.
Sure.
But it certainly makes winning football games a lot harder for a team like BYU. I think BYU should be 7-3. So I'm with you. I'm not ready to say, oh man, we need to apologize. Like BYU, no, I'm not there. Even though BYU had to play 10 straight games, this team is still good enough to be 7-3 with a couple of adjustments.
That's despite all the injuries.
Convert some fourth down plays. Don't be 6 for 21 on fourth down conversions. And BYU's at worst 6-4, if not 7-3, because you're thinking about plays they couldn't convert at critical junctures against ECU and Arkansas alone. Changes those two games right there.
Yes, it does.
Like, it's that fickle. It's crazy. That's why it will drive a sane man crazy.
And BYU converted one of those with Puka Nacua. Don't forget that. Like,
yes.
The positive end of that, where it's like, what if BYU doesn't make? What if they rule against BYU again on the replay? BYU could be in trouble. Let's look at a couple of numbers that kind of tell a story here, okay? Opponent records since playing BYU. Ben Bagley dug this up this morning.
Okay.
Only South Florida, who stinks, they fired Jeff Scott.
By far the worst team on BYU.
Has a losing record since playing BYU. Look at these numbers. Oh, my gosh. Like Oregon, undefeated, amazing, right? Wyoming and Utah State are 3-1 since playing Brigham. Notre Dame's good. Arkansas split. They lost to Liberty at home, by the way. Liberty 1-0, and East Carolina had a bye, and Boise State obviously was the last game.
All these teams are continuing to win after they beat BYU.
We didn't think this overall schedule would be this difficult, but it's been hard, and BYU's been banged up, and so that means BYU's not going to win 9+ games in those seasons. Welcome to the Big 12 schedules, because this is what it's going to be like. You're going to have more ECUs than you think, if you will.
Okay.
In the Big 12.
Can I call an audible here? I'm just going to say the opponent name that BYU has played thus far.
Okay.
And you tell me worse, expected, or better.
Oh, then preseason?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll start. We'll go chronologically.
This is completely unexpected.
Yes. Okay.
Let's go.
USF.
Worse.
Agreed. They're worse than we thought they would be. Baylor.
Little worse.
Okay. Interesting.
Because I thought
wins both of those games.
I thought they'd compete for a Big 12 title. They're not really in that.
They're 6-3. Still a good team, but a little bit worse.
Yeah.
They're not ranked.
Right.
Okay. Oregon.
Way better.
Wyoming.
Better. Yeah.
Utah State.
Well, remember it said, oh, they lost to Illinois. Blah, blah. Illinois is good.
Yeah. Wyoming 6-3.
Illinois might win the
Wyoming's
division.
bowl eligible.
Their division. Big
Okay.
game.
Utah State.
Way worse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame's a little worse than I thought.
Which is
I
why
thought
I feel
Notre
like
Dame would
BYU
be
should
awesome.
probably have won that game.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, when Marshall and Stanford win, I expect you to have a shot there.
Arkansas.
Arkansas is way worse.
So, again, we're getting to man, worse than expected. There's no apologies necessary here. Like, preseason expectations, based on what we feel still now with these records, we think BYU should be better than 5-5.
Well, and it's not all just them. It's what BYU isn't as well, Spence.
Healthy.
Right? Like when we, we're talking Monday night in the postgame about the Utah State men's basketball game. It was like, well, it's not all just what BYU didn't do. Idaho State did some things. Like KJ Jefferson was good. Rocket Sanders was good in that game. Notre Dame, hey, ran the ball. Drew Pine, better than we thought, or whatever. Michael Mayer, I told you, was maybe the best player BYU was going to play all year. He was unbelievable. You know what I mean? Like, Boise State thinks the same thing about Puka, by the way, on the other end of that. It happens. Okay.
Liberty and ECU were better than we thought they would be.
Yes.
Boise State's kind of what we thought they would be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good, but not great.
Like, even.
Yeah. No, I always expect Boise State to be a good team.
So, I mean, 5-5 is like, okay, yeah, it feels like a little bit still, even though the schedule's maybe a little bit more difficult.
7-3 is the hope.
Yes.
We were like playing for 9-ish
BYU,
wins.
even in spite of all the injuries and all the junk that's gone on, we still think they could be 7-3.
Yes. Still disappointing, right? By 2 games, okay? Super ranking composite. So, again, there's 7 popular metrics out there. I just take those and get the average, and it tells me a story about where.
We're talking about Football Power Index, Sagarin rating.
Yes. F+,
Yes.
SPI, all that. Okay.
Bill Connolly's.
Yep. So BYU 64, just
Middle of
little
the pack.
above.
By definition,
Yeah.
middle of the pack.
Yeah, a little above it. Okay, Notre Dame's 22. That would have been a really good win. Well, it was a bad loss. No, it's not. Get out of here. Arkansas 36. Really good team. Good team. Liberty 62. Metrics don't like Liberty.
Because of strength of schedule outside of BYU, Arkansas, and Wake
Yeah,
Forest.
and neither of those teams. Well, two of those wins aren't. They're good in perception, but in reality, Arkansas is a really good win. BYU 64.
Okay.
ECU 51. Better than you think, right? So of those four in the losing streak, BYU could have beat Notre Dame, but it's like Liberty. The metrics tell us no. BYU should have competed way better with and beat Liberty. I think if they play that game 10 times, BYU's maybe winning once, twice. Like, Liberty was on fire. You also forget the emotional element of this.
Oh, my goodness.
Can you imagine BYU for, 20 years, 30 years being like, we want to be like Notre Dame, and then you finally get to play them
you get Notre Dame at home.
This is the thing we can't imagine, playing Notre Dame at home. Because they wouldn't come here, right? We had to go to Vegas.
And Notre Dame's limping in after a couple of losses.
And we happily went there, and then we unhappily didn't win the game, which was disappointing. But, no apologies for – I'd like to apologize, actually, to absolutely no one, as Conor McGregor would say.
Yeah, the schedule, based on what we thought in the preseason, is kind of evening out to what we maybe a little bit more difficult, but not enough to say, BYU should be 5-5.
I love that so much too. The idea of we think one thing and it changes. Yes, we talk up here and we postulate, and that's the fun part of this, is that it does not turn out like you think most often.
All right.